So the orange cat that's been appearing at my house showed up again earlier this morning about 9 o'clock and actually went into the carrier kennel and ate the wet food but left the treats, which is fine. So I got the carrier inside. I have to clean that out because Shadow has shots on Wednesday. So now we're going to set up the trap. Usually I don't do the trap right away. I usually try the kennel technique a few more days in a row just to see if it still continues to go in there. But since it's getting colder at night, I figured we'll just see if we can try to catch it ASAP. And I think Buddy's going to jump up here anytime. Almost, dude. Okay, so this is the cage that I have for it. I believe you can get these loaned out to you through either dispatch or the pound. With all the captivity that I have in my neighborhood. Captivity. I just decided to purchase one. I bought the biggest one I could find. I do recommend getting a bigger cage. More cautious cats, such as strays, tend to stay away from more constricted areas. My neighbor across the street had two cats that got into his house. They were actually inside his upper floor, lower ceiling. He did buy some cages, but they were smaller ones and they would not go into them. They were very cautious. I think actually the only cat he did end up catching was Shadow, who was still a street rat at the time. So yeah, you can get these. I think I got this one at Menards for about $50. They're not that cheap, but if you go on the Minnesota side, I think Runnings has them, if not like Fleet Farm, but I definitely recommend investing in a bigger cage. It's just a standard one. Oh man, this thing needs to be clean. Just lift up the top, draw this back. You got this little lever here which pulls up the plate. And of course the plate, once touched, the trap falls down and you have yourself a kitty. Cats will not always stay in this. This is not a definite way of catching them. One night I had a black cat that crawled in here and was able to thrash his way out of the cage. That same morning I also managed to catch a orange cat that was pretty calm, but as soon as I opened up the cage and grabbed the handle, it began thrashing around and I ended up dropping it and the cat got out as well. So you got to be pretty on alert. So right now I'm going to cut some strings off. So as you're wondering why I got strings, again, this is my crazy method of catching cats. I got some new string that I already cut right here. You don't necessarily have to do this, but I find that giving a cat a feast has a better chance of getting them into the cage and hopefully into a good home. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put something at the bottom of the cage. I'm just going to use the same towel I used in that carrier yesterday. Cats do have sensitive pads. And walking on the metal, especially the cold metal at night, is going to might prohibit them from actually entering. So let's get this back over here. I'm not going to try to bunch this up too much. Actually, I'm going to have to find a different, smaller towel for this. Let's see what we can find. All right, I found a smaller towel. I lost one of my strings. Did I take it with that towel? Probably. All right, well, so I'm just going to put this in here. The reason why I suggest a smaller towel is because you don't want to bunch it up too much because it'll end up going over that plate. This food dish. And we'll just straighten this out a little bit. Okay, that's not going to work. I'll have to stick my arm in there. try to make it as comfy as possible, but that plate, which is right here, just want to make sure that there's not a lot bunching up on it. And then I have a smaller towel right here I'm just going to put at the edge. This is fine if it's bunched up as long as it's not hitting over that plate. So as long as you can hit that plate and it falls, then we're good to go. Yeah, this really needs to be cleaned. All right, I'm going to do a quick clean job and we'll be right back. All right, so now that we got the towel in, I'm just going to make sure that the front bit has some of the cage exposed. Like this, just for the fact that when this falls, I don't want the towel underneath here. Gives them a chance to kind of get out. So now that this is set up, next step is what I call the feast. So we're going to get ourselves some food. And I'm going to do it right here. Not pate. I don't know, do we got anything? I don't really have anything else. Okay. That's fine. So we're going to put some pate in here. Ugh. This is beef. Cats don't really eat beef. But stray cats generally will eat whatever they can take. Just ask Shadow. Shadow. Ugh. This guy has the appointment next week. Okay, so we got a gross bowl of nasty beef food. And I'm going to put it way in the back. I usually use a smaller bowl so these guys can really stick their necks out and not trigger the trap. Which I'm sure I'll end up triggering here as I put this in. Yep. Okay, so we got the bowl way in the back. And this needs to be straightened out a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, so we got our food back here. Next step is going to be the rest of the feast. Yeah, I just scared the shit out of them. And what I mean by feast, I mean what I was going to do with the string is you want to lure these cats in with anything that you can. Sometimes I found just leaving food in there isn't good enough. So we're going to use lunch meat. And when I got our... I got someone's attention. So we use 2 pieces of lunch meat, turkey. Hold on. Hey, here. And again, this may sound weird, but it has worked. Where I'm going to... Oh gosh, she's gonna eat through all that, isn't she? Coco and her turkey, man, I swear. Hold on. No, I don't want you over here. I'm trying to hang this up. Here, have another piece. That's your snack for the day. So this already has a hole in it, so I'm just going to put the string. Again, it sounds really weird, but you don't want to put too much pressure on it. You just want to lightly push it down in. And then, yeah, the things I do for catching cats. And then just kind of loosely tie it. You don't want it to tear and fall. You're trying to get the, you kidding me. Okay, let's do this again. All right, so now I got both pieces of lunch meat hanging up. And now we're going to put some treats in there. Now I know this cat didn't eat any of the treats that I put in there yesterday, but one never knows. It might be a good way of luring it in. So, raise this up. Coco, stay away from that meat, please. Thank you. So I'm just going to throw, especially up by the plate, anything to trigger that plate is mighty helpful. So we'll put our breadcrumb trail. And this is it for now. Next step is I have a old ratty comforter I'm going to use. I don't usually use it, but this time of year I will, just because of the cold temps. So let's go outside and finish our project. All right, so now I have the cage on the corner of the comforter, and it's actually pretty nice out, but one never knows. It might get chillier out here. Okay, let's try this. Perfect. And I'm just going to cover up the cage. As such. Then I'm going to have to turn it a little bit. And the reason why I want to turn it is because I want my camera and also the door to catch that lid. So let's go ahead and prop that up. All right, so now I have the lid up. I put some more treats outside of it. I got it facing my camera and the door. That way if I look at the camera or the door and I see that this is down, then something is in here. I have caught rabbits before. No raccoons yet, thank God. Or it'll be a kitty. Or sometimes a trap just decides to fall down, especially since it's windy outside. So now we are just going to sit and wait. Oh, wait, one more thing. All right, so earlier I mentioned about how the cats like to thrash around, especially the crazy wild feral ones. I had like a big brick or something that I would put on top of the cage. I don't have one this time, so hopefully this pot of dirt will add a little bit of weight to the top, just in case, just to kind of keep it weighted down a little bit. Plus, if I do catch something, I would definitely hear that thing fall off. So, all right, this is part 2 of how to catch a stray cat via the Cat Hermit way. Cat Hermit signing out.